Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Prison Architect. Today's beverage is a nicely chilled cranberry juice with a hint of lime. Actually, no, that's not the case because I forgot on that one. Either way, welcome back. And previously, we were doing some more building and some more grants, obviously. So things like the staff room we got put in. We also did a lot of cabling and pipe work to add in the radiators because obviously we do have weather and temperature on. We got the canteen and kitchen placed, but we'll be building that in but a moment. And we also discussed and planned out all of these, which I'm going to say fields, and they are sort of that, but there's orchards, there's fields, and there's vegetable patches all the way around here. So there's a fair bit to do there, and these are not set in stone, but we don't need to do that right now. In this one, we want to look at the basic detention centre, the long-term investment, which will obviously get done in time, and then, well, I might as well pick up inmate health and well-being, because that is something we can probably build sooner rather than later, most likely down here, although more centralised would be ideal, but the only thing centralized really is this big body of water, so I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to put it. But anyway, we're going to continue on and do the building of this. So I'm going to build one of these cell blocks, not entirely understand, but I do want the basic foundation in, and I'm going to not build on the far left because that's the furthest point away, so it just means more travel for the inmates. So we're going to do this one first, and that means obviously just doing a little bit of planning, which isn't too much of an issue. So it is a 3x3 cell, as I said at the first episode of the series, that basically these areas are going to be mainly sort of like let me just put in something like that. That's going to be for the for the water boiler. I mean, where do I put the door? I could place it there. It should be fine. But this is going to be, like I say, the cell block A, B, C, D, E, F. But this one will house most of the stuff for the basic detention center, at least as a temporary thing. So we're going to go to reclaimed wood wall, and then we'll place it in like so, over to the walls and doors, and then the large jail door, which will go in there. It also means running in the utilities, which is going to be a little bit more difficult. So those are going to run across and then down. Let me just double check. It's going to run to there, yes. And then we also want to run the pipe work, but the pipe work's going to be a bit different because I'm going to run it from the bottom way up, because obviously when you have got tunneling on, which we do have escape plans on, they will tunnel to, well, the AI will work out the easiest way to escape, which could be jumping over walls or running out. But when we're talking about the tunneling, it will either go directly out to the edge, which case, to be fair, that's fairly easy for this design at this stage because there's no perimeter wall, there's no foundations, as it were. However, they will also look at where the large pipe work is, and they will tunnel through the small and then the large pipes respectively, just because it's quicker for them to do it. So yeah, we have to worry about that. So putting it down the bottom means that we can run the pipes up down and go from there. Although, oh wait, that's actually, is that a problem? It might be a problem, but I'm not sure, because we need to connect up the water boiler, which is here. So the large pipes might actually have to run up and across. Oh yeah, I'd have to run them across and then up, and then it's pretty much the same as running it across and down. Okay, it's going to be a little bit of a nightmare, but I think I am going to run it that way. I've cancelled the pipe because I want it a little bit further away from the other stuff. So it's going to run to there, and then this will run down to here. Actually, wait, cancel that and run it down to there. Okay, I've just basically cancelled everything, which is not my intention. Let me go back over to electrical, and the cable will run across, and then it'll run down to there. Okay, so we'll work on that, and let me guess, because I've right-clicked, the entire foundation is gone. Yes, now hopefully it has brought in the items, and we'll get to use them again. We should do, although, nope, it's actually brought in the foundations twice. So, but the luckily the door is in place, so I'm not really too sure what's going on, truth be told. Okay, well, I'm just going to let the game crack on, and it will go ahead and put the foundation in, and then obviously all of the pipe work, and then we'll put the water boiler in. It's currently nice and toasty, and now it's even more toasty. This is, yes, a bit of a heat wave. It is a hot spell in the summer here, 26 degrees C. The roads are getting dangerous. Any vehicles passing the prison are going to have to travel much slower until conditions improve. It may be advisable to hire emergency maintenance to improve the situation. So, what you can do is go to emergencies and go to, I think it is road maintenance, which is 500. So we'll do that. And what happens is we get this maintenance truck that's coming along, and it's actually gritting the road, which is not what I expected. Is that what we wanted? I don't think gritting the road when basically the road is melting is the way for it. Although it is doing something to it, and it is called road maintenance, so that's the only real option we have, I think. I don't think a repairman is required. They're more for like subsidence or all that sort of thing. So anyway, over to the kitchen canteen where we are waiting for these guys to build over there. I'm just going to go to normal speed just to give me a little bit more time, because obviously they're working there. So we're going to go to objects, and the objects will be, we can have 4 serving tables down the bottom if we really wanted 4. Don't think we need 4 based on the amount of inmates that we have, which I think is 60. So we could just have 1, 2, 3. We could just have a couple. To the truth be told, I might just put 2 in. So 1 there and 1 there, and then leave the gaps either side for. Potentially we could have phone booths there, but I think phone booths are going to go up the top. But we do need to work on the planning, so we're going to go over to objects, and assuming we are going to put in maybe something around here. Let's just see. So it is a 3x4, like that. So that is 4, 8, 16, and then it is 32, and then yeah, that might be about it. I don't know if we need any more than that. 4, 8, 12. Yeah, 12, 24, 48. Okay, it's actually a little bit more than we probably need a little bit more to give ourselves some breathing room. So I can do maybe that. Don't actually mind the look at that, although I could do something like this, which is just 2 big rows of serving tables, and then there's gaps here and gaps here. If I was to do that, though, I might give myself some more breathing room by having a gap of 2 there and a gap of 2 there. I actually don't mind that. It's a bit different, and, well, it just might work. It's also probably overdoing it. Oh, wait, actually, do I want to use these normal tables? Let's go to canteen. We could go with the... there's an oak bench, but there's no... Oh, there is an oak table. But the oak tables are... The oak tables are a different size, and that wouldn't really help. Do I use that? Do I do it that way? Let me double check. Let's see if I can plan those in and do it like in maybe 3 or 4 rows. We've got the time to do it, so we'll have a quick look. So it would be a, was it a 4x3? Let me just double check that. So objects, canteen, and the canteen is table oak, and it would go in there, and then you could put the oak benches either side of it. I don't know what the correct orientation is. I assume that. So that could be 1, and then 2, over 2 objects, 2, and then 3. That would fit in, and then we could do the same on this side, and then basically we could do the same again in the middle if we were so inclined, like that, and then we could still put the stuff up there. Okay, we're gonna run with that for the sake of something different. So canteen, which will go in canteen or table oak. There we go. So we'll put this in, and I will put the flooring in. let's remove that. The serving tables, there is a bamboo serving table, I think. Bamboo table, bamboo bench, bamboo serving table, yes, but there's only the standard serving table, so we're not going to put any of the others in. So let's just go for all of these, and I don't know what the cost is associated with it, but they're only 20 a piece, so they might not be too bad. I think that's most of them in. Over to the kitchen, and this is going to be, well, cookers that run up like so, and I'm probably going to have another row that runs down. As I said, this is an oversized kitchen, admittedly, but that's all right. And I'm going to have probably row freezers at the back, like so, and then I think we'll have sinks, which can go maybe there and there, and then I'll put one there, and then there could be more cookers there. We don't need all of that, you understand, it's oversized, the kitchen, but we do need lots of storage, but we'll have pantries as well. So hopefully that is acceptable. Let's just go over to doors and to a standard door here, and then we'll place that there. These doors I'll probably have to lock open, like so, and like so. And right, let's go max speed and let the game crack on there. So all good on that front. So basic detention center, we're going to have, we need at least 2 cooks, so we'll go for 1, 2. So they're going to do that, and obviously they're going to have to build all this. It'll take a little while, and it's now, it is now 27 degrees, and this is overheating. That is a wind turbine that is overheating. Now, I don't think anyone we have, workers-wise, is actually trained to fix that. There's no electricians training that we've done, and no other training really, so I don't know what's going to happen there. Maybe that's going to be a bit of a collapse, but we'll see about that one. In terms of the inmate health and well-being, I do want a sort of infirmary more centralized. Perhaps here is acceptable, but what I want to do is that has actually worked out very well. So this is going to be a parole. And then we're going to have in here so it's going to be a bit of a parole, and then this comes down into the infirmary. That's what we're going to do there. That's the plan. I think that should be fine. The rest of these are going to be 6 and 6 and 6, and I'm just going to double check. It's going to be what's it called? A chapel, because that we often go for a chapel. 6 by 6. Yes, I think a gym is 7. Yeah, 7 by 7, but I don't plan on having one of those, so I'm not going to worry about it. Over here we've got auto light, which has been, it's fine. It's lit them up as best I can really hope for, so that's good. So I'll just let the workers crack on and build there. We need a kitchen, which we are working on. We need a shower and a holding cell, so we can do that. There is the kitchen done, is it? No. What was that noise then? It probably would be something to do with security. We don't need legal yet. Education, no. Armory, no. Remote access, possibly. I'll go for surveillance because we have the money, which is all good. So the kitchen is going to be done. That'll be most of the basic detention center done there. We're going to go with, that road is all kinds of broken. There's the kitchen. So we just need a shower and a holding cell. So the rooms, we'll go for a shower, and we'll place it in there. And then a holding cell, which is going to be a 5 by 5, but it's not. It's going to be a 23 by 14. And all you need for that one is a toilet and sink and a bench. So we can do that. For the shower, you naturally need a shower head, which can go there. And yes, you can have outside showers, but we're going to go with a bench. Doesn't really matter what we get. I'm going to go with a small bench and then a toilet, and then that will be that grant done, the basic detention center. I will have to run in some more electrical cable in the kitchen here. I will run that right now, like so. Water-wise, I do need to bring water over there, but I don't know how I'm going to do that. The warden's calling. Congratulations on handling this calamity. Your prisoners are thankful for your care and will have their needs boosted for the next 5 days, but we don't have any prisoners, so that's suboptimal. It's not a negative, which is, I'll take the win off that one. So where is the water going to come from? Well, the thing is, we need water in a couple of locations. We actually need water in, where is it? In these little bits here, because this is where we're going to have sheds. Sheds are a 2x2 and they require water, and also the automation requires water as well. So I think for the water, I'm going to probably run this pipe work around like so. Maybe, can I go under the water with the water? I can do that, so I'll run it across to about there, and then the rest of the pipe should connect up. So it's going to be across and across, and then we'll go like this. Don't need to go that far with it, like so. And then another large pipe, because I don't know exactly where the connections are going to be. Obviously, we need heating over here. I'll do that. Almost certainly, I'm just going to put a boiler in the kitchen somewhere. We've got, more than enough room in the kitchen, as you're probably aware. And we need the holding cell, and then that'll be the basic detention center done, which if I prioritize these middle two, it is now done. I will then dismantle both the toilet and the bench because we don't need it, as well as the shower head in there. Obviously remove the shower because we don't need that, and remove the holding cell because I don't plan on having one. And now we've got things like prison maintenance, which is almost certainly done. Yes, so I need a janitor and a gardener, and that should be done. Yes, that is now done. We need in cell block A or visitation rights or security procedure. Security procedure, we will have done most of it. We just need to hire some guards and then assign them to patrol routes, so we can again go for that. Okay, we'll work on that one. We'll work on that one. Just wait for the guys to finish putting the stuff in. I'm actually going to move these sinks up. Actually, no. Cancel that. Move these sinks down like that. And then that means I have to redo something. Sell utility, that little bit there. You can't really see it, but it's sold. So that connects there. These are connecting up. That is going to run there. And then a water boiler will go there, which then sort of lines up with the sinks, which in my mind sort of works out okay. In terms of money, 54,000 generic units of currency. We're going to get another 16 grand with a long-term investment. Yeah, that should be fine. Foundations, and then the reclaimed wood. And to be honest, we're just going to do all of that because we will be using these anyway. These we could probably split into two buildings, like put a line across there and have an entrance here. I wouldn't want an entrance down the bottom because it's a lot of travel, but I could put an entrance there and an entrance like halfway through. Just make it separate rooms. It doesn't mean the rooms have to be always connected to a pathway or outside. They can just connect to another room for the most part. Not ideal, but it can be done. But that'll do there. Let's go over to doors and to a standard door, and that can go in there, and that can go in there. So that'll be our medical ward. Okay, that's fine. And then we'll do this. So what I'm thinking really now is about the green energy. So green energy, if we go to green energy goals, we do have green energy goal 7, which we're only 56% of the way there. We need to purchase 10 of every item. And once we do that, it means that we can, we basically half the effects of weather, half the effects of negative weather and double effects of positive weather. So what I mean by that is, if we just check out here, we can see that we have the solar panels and the solar wind hybrids. It says power production has been positively affected by the current weather, and that's because it is a sunny day. So that is reflected in the green energy. That's the main reason why I put the weather and temperature on. But however, because it's not breezy, if we check out the, where is it? Sunny, wind speed is 18.7 meters per second from the southeast. That's just a bit of flavor text. Doesn't really mean anything apart from the number is what we're looking at. The number is, basically it's affecting the wind turbine because there's not much wind. But I need to put more wind turbines in. So I want to probably remove a lot of this and move it over and then put in the other items, and then that'll make our exports even better, because at the moment we can export up to 5,000, but we're not doing that because we need more wind and solar in, and once I've done that, it will it'll work a lot better. Well, I'll wait for the workers to crack on over here. Then I'm going to dismantle at least one of the solar wind hybrids, and that'll tell me whether or not it breaks or not. It shouldn't break, but then there's what it should do and what it shouldn't. Those are two completely different things, you understand. Let me sell a lot of the stuff in here, like tables and stuff, because we don't need those. Like that and like that. So those have now been removed. That's now lit because we've got power in it. This one here, this area, I will run the power in to there, and then, well, it's going to go into here and here and to here. Yes, like that. And then there's a grant done, actually, which is which one was that? That'll be the long-term investment. Okay, that's fine then. So the next one is going to be cell block A that we pick up. And over here, I'm going to go with a infirmary. So the infirmary will go like that. Is that the only light that they've put in there? No, there are other lights that have been planned. Okay. I was about to say, what's going on there? So we'll put this in here because we know that's going to be a different room. The infirmary requires a medical bed, so we'll put the medical bed in there. I'll actually put a few of those in, and I'll just run them like so. And obviously I need the flooring in as well, but I'm just going to go to staff and to the doctors, and we create a doctor, and that is that grant done once I've got the other one put in, which is all good. In the canteen and kitchen, there we go, we got enough money now. I think we'll put in Sneezington flooring, which is otherwise known as, I think, some dark wood floor in here, because we're going to go with dark wood for the most part. In the kitchen, doesn't feel to be that. I think we're going to go with wood, but it's going to be a wooden floor. So an expensive job, this, but we'll put it in. And the same thing for here. And indeed for here. And the foreman is now calling, due to some logistics error, receiving extra supplies. We're receiving a lot of wood. So that's all good. We do need to hire 10 guards and set up some patrols, but I'm not going to do that just yet. No, I'm going to pick up another grant because we probably won't get another one done before I save it for this episode, which is the whole save and load bug that I've mentioned before. Basically, if you unlock the third grant from the extra grant, you get a third grant, so you can pick up 3 grants. If you pick it up and then save it and then load the game, it's only going to remember the 2. Which sort of means you can save and load, and pick up the grant. And as long as you're getting the advance payment, it remembers you got the advance payment, it goes in your bank, and then you sort of redo it, and you basically get paid over and over. So we don't want to go down that route. Right, so the kitchen flooring is in, the flooring for the infirmary and the parole room, which I might as well place because it's a simple task. There's parole room, and it is a visitor table, which goes in like so. So they're now in. And I can remove the planning from here and from over here and probably from there, but actually I'll keep it to remind myself that we might need some extra items. So that's now in. And then I think the final thing we're going to do in this episode is, as I said, try over here. So let's dismantle one of these solar wind hybrids, or wind solar hybrids. It is a solar wind hybrid. How we're doing for exports. We're doing all right, and I can't remember what we've got previously. So the guy's going to come along and dismantle it, and does it break? It does not. It goes into a box, so that's fine. So I can go to utilities, and I can dismantle all of these utilities, because as I said, I want to redo them so that we have the green energy goal 8, is it? 7. 7, yes. So half the negative effects and double the positive effects. So obviously this is going to power down our facility most likely. Actually, no, we might have enough battery charge in it. But there we go. And we should have enough money to buy things in. So we need to build, what was it? It said a total of 10 of each we need to buy in. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to go with the wind turbines. So we're going to redeploy them. So it's going to be like this. So there's 6, 8, 10. And then there's energy goal 7 complete, actually. So I could cancel the rest of it, but there's no point because we've already got them anyway. So that should be enough. I don't think I can get any more. Oh no, it says 2 more in stock. There we go. So that's now in. I'm just going to double check that green energy goal 7, which is negative effects of weather are halved and the positive effects are doubled. Yes, that's in. So I'm going to dismantle this other one just because it's a little bit out of place, you understand. And then we'll rebuild the others. And then I'm going to sell this. Just because, like I say, it's out of place. And there we go. So we will sell that. I think there was some problems with the grid because I connected stuff up. Oh no, we've probably run out of battery. Because it's a little bit dark. And there's no wind. Okay. Interesting they're not connected though. They should be. They should be all connected. Okay, the game is struggling a little bit. Overloaded. Switch on. Switch on. Yes. And then all them can go on. I think they are on. What's that symbol mean though? Switch off. Switch on. There we go. Just took a little bit of a while to toggle it. So, because it's nice and sunny, yeah, we've got... how much did we make last night? 2,000, okay. So, the solar wind hybrids are in, and the wind turbines are in, and the solar panels are in, and we've double-checked the green energy goal, which is fine. Okay, we are going to leave it there for now. That has been another episode of Prison Architect, where it's just got unfashionably warm. That is, well, it started off at 33 degrees C. It's actually cooling down a bit now. Yeah. But we have got some hot spells, highest being 36.7 degrees. So yeah, there we go. Right. Oh, it's getting a bit toasty now. So we have our canteen, which is all good. We have more wind solar hybrids. We've discussed like some of the planning and some of these extra bits in here, which is obviously all the farming and stuff. And we've got parole and the infirmary, and we're working on the security procedure certification as well as the cell block A. So I think we're progressing on very nicely. Next episode, we're going to probably start and indeed finish cell block A over here, and then we'll run through all of the needs and see what we actually desperately need for inmates, which I do include some level of farming, even if it's just me clicking and dragging the farm field in here, whether it be vegetable or well, these are not vegetables. These are going to be the orchard, the fruit. So all of these being the fruits, which again I'm not 100% on the sizes yet, but we shall see. But putting some of those in, and even if everything has to be done manually, it doesn't really matter because we'll have people working there. Either way, let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, we will go from there. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Take care, and generic partings.